36.
It's way back here.
It is. Yeah.
They're in number order though. But I went through the
Now,
state.
this is,
state
am I close to it, Doc?
Let's see. Thank you. We're right here at 50. Yeah, right here, 5136.
Yeah, I'll just,
It's several pages, so
that it?
yeah.
I'll just curl that like that,
Yeah,
since we
because
have
it should be both of them, because there's a 5136, and then,
I'll make sure I have everything.
yeah, that's it. Okay, Dr. Reed, thank you for meeting with us today. Per Dr. Moore's request, we're going to jump right on in with 5136, which is the product of SB 78. And so when we look at this replacement policy, of course, the first couple of pages are all redlined because that's what the original policy was. And so when we get to, in essence, what is the back page of page 2, page 4, that is the start of, I believe, the new policy as it will read once we get it updated.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. So,
Yes, what, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so, yeah, go ahead and get started, because one of the first checks and decisions this committee will make is specifically what you alluded to earlier, and smartwatches.
Yes.
The note here says that the statute does not require restrictions on smartwatches unless connected to a cellular telephone, a cellular tower, or the internet. In my mind, if you can get it to Wi-Fi, it's not allowed. So the first check is, we can check it or not. Smartwatches are not considered personal communication devices unless connected to a cellular telephone, a cell tower, or the internet. If not connected, smartwatches and smart glasses are electronic equipment regulated pursuant to policy 5136.01. Thoughts on this?
I've never been anywhere where my smartwatch didn't work. I don't know if your school has blocking power for personal devices that are on 5G or.
We have, so the district has basically we have I don't want to call it free, but it's free access. You can log on as a guest, district wide.
So students could log on.
They could.
And you cannot determine whether they have a separate line for their smartwatch or they rely on their cell phone.
Correct.
Mine's connected to my cell phone, but I know other people have a separate line or there so they don't have to carry a cell phone.
Yes. I think one of the points of reference for me in communicating with others about this is the effect of this specific policy, smartwatches, on teachers, and not, are we asking them to make a determination on whether this watch is or is not a smartwatch, and
Right.
what that could potentially lead to, the consumption of time that could be used on instruction, in my opinion. So I think that's been one of the points of interest from feedback as it relates to smartwatches and deciding whether it should or should not be included. Is there is going to be a point where, okay, but I didn't have it connected to Wi-Fi, but who wants to
don't know.
engage
Right.
in that aspect of it?
Right.
Thoughts?
My thought would be, when we look at it from just a basic level, smartwatches and glasses are always connected to
Something.
cell phones.
Typically, yeah.
Is that right, Dr. Reed? Typically.
Well, my watch, it is
Not
connected to
always.
my phone, but
Not always,
it
but in
does
most
have-
cases, right?
I can leave my phone, not have it on me, and it still would work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. But not in all cases, but in most cases. Is that right, Dr. Reed?
I don't know the percentage at all, I'm sorry. But I would think it would be much harder for someone to play a game or communicate on their smartwatch than on a cell phone. Because even the big ones are limiting the space of what you can read, and that would most likely alert the teacher to say, pay attention, please.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That is something that you all have to decide if you're going to get some pushback from parents. I just bought this for their birthday. Obviously, sunglasses, I don't know any school that allows them to wear sunglasses and I'm not sure you can control the glasses that just look like plain glasses, but they can record with those glasses.
So I think another aspect of that, Dr. Reed, is from a smartwatch standpoint, depending on what it is, it has so many other capabilities that you can instantly get if you can log on to Wi-Fi. You can receive text messages, you can receive a call, and so I think that's the aspect that has us considering or whether or not to move forward with that aspect of it. I think the law and the policy in itself have a caveat if, for example, I need to wear my smartwatch because I'm diabetic. Well, in the policy, you're allowed to with medical documentation. So I think that there are other aspects of the policy that provide possibilities for families to navigate for those that really truly need to have that smartwatch live due to medical or an individual education plan.
Yes, that's the same as having a different communication for special education students who are nonverbal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or need technology for whatever reason in their IEP.
Yes. Okay.
Or language.
That makes Dr. Reed, that makes a lot of sense as it relates to special
Or
education.
language translation.
As it
That's
relates,
also an exception.
Yes.
the exceptions would be for special ed, in no uncertain terms, when it comes to those specific areas.
Yes, it must be in their IEP, and for those students who don't fall in that category, they would need medical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, both categories would need a medical reason.
Yeah. And that would have to be, in no uncertain terms, would have to be doctor prescribed.
Yes.
Have to be put in those students' files.
Yes.
I know we know that's the procedure, but it has to be talked about at this table.
Yeah.
Since we're live, parents need to hear that. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
But the expectation would be,
Yeah.
if they have a watch, it's on one of these 5
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the watch shouldn't be in the building.
Right.
Okay, Dr. Reed, a question for you as it relates to some of the exceptions. I noticed in the policy that they're very intentional about sharing the July 1st date as it relates to personal devices. So the district in itself has until July 1st, 2028 to make sure that every device that our students are using is school issued. The use of personal devices will need to not be allowed going into the 28-29 school year. Okay.
Correct.
So we still have some students not having school-issued Chromebooks.
Yes.
Could you repeat that, Ms. Kelly?
So we still have some students not having school issued Chromebooks. And we can fix that very easily.
Yes, for some it's a choice. I have one at home that prefers to not, and so we're just going to need to begin that communication, so that families understand that
So
you
by the
may
27-28 school year.
28-29.
Okay.
So starting July 1st, 2028. So that would be our 28-29 school year.
Personal issue.
So, someone may bring their iPad, someone may bring their own computer that they're using
That
for
will
class.
be-
All that will need to
Stop.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
School issued.
Yes. The next thing on this document, Dr. Reed, is it says choose if you want to allow audio recording devices. Thoughts on that, Dr. Moore and Ms. Kelly? I know that this says not recommended, but I certainly don't want to not give you the opportunity if you feel like it's pertinent and we need it.
That would be, I'm missing that. Available right here?
Yep, right here.
Yep, I see it.
Yep.
It says students aid, language translations. Dr. Bishop, give me some extensive conversation on that.
So the thought behind this is allowing it would allow anyone to be able to basically carry any type of recording. It could include your phone. I mean,
Interpretive device.
and use it in such a way during instructional time. Anything that if they needed to capture an image, they could. But the exception, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Reed, if we check it, the exception then becomes for everyone.
Yes, and we do not recommend that you check this.
Right.
Because we could fall back on if I am an English language learner and I need support by being able to take a picture or audio, that would be in my individual learning plan. So there's the IEP, the IOP, the 504. There are other means in which those students that would specifically need it to support their learning would have it.
And we can make sure that the teachers writing those know they would need to specifically include
Yes.
that in the plans going forward.
Yes,
Because if it's not in there, you won't have access to that.
correct.
Okay.
Yes. So I think that's my impression from them not recommending it is that it really does open it up
No, it's
For-
too much. Yeah.
all 10,348 students to
Which would
be
not
able
be
to do
positive.
that. No.
We don't want that then.
So,
It's not going to be positive. We don't want that. We don't want to extend something that's going to backfire on the whole student body. Is that right, Dr. Reed?
Correct.
Okay.
But you can make sure it's added into your IEPs and 504s.
Yes.
So teachers would need to know if they need their student to have that,
Yeah.
they need to.
That would have to be a part of their curriculum piece. Is that right?
Their plan,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay, the next page is, in my opinion, the heart of it all. The districts are allowed to make a decision between option A, which is no devices during the school day, and option B, which is devices are stored during the school day. The district needs to decide which way we're going to go. And that's where this policy will head, depending on what it is that you would like to do. Option A, which is no devices during the school day, states that students are prohibited from bringing personal communication devices to school for the school day, including bringing them on a bus or any corporation vehicle to and from school. Students are also prohibited from using personal communication devices at school for the school day unless an exception applies. Option B is the storage model, meaning that they can bring them to school, they must be turned off, but they're in a designated storage area, but they still are not allowed to use them on the bus or while
During lunch.
right during the instructional day. So unless an exception applies during the school day, all personal communication devices must be powered off and stored. Students shall not access their PCDs during the school day unless an exception applies, and it denotes that that would include the bus as well.
Dr. Reed?
Yes, you may, down below that, you may allow them to use it while riding the bus.
Yep.
I know bus drivers are split on this decision. Some say it keeps them occupied and out of trouble, and others don't like the loud music, so, again, there could be some parents who want to be able to communicate with their child right after school on the bus, to give them instructions. I don't know how much that would cause you difficulty with your parents, but I have a personal opinion, but you must decide your personal opinion of whether you want to tell them to keep it at home completely or store it when they get to school.
Dr. Bishop?
Quick question for you, Dr. Reed. As you're meeting with other school corporations, can you share which direction other corporations are going?
The ones I've met with so far have allowed this on the bus.
Okay. So I can only assume that they're going with the storage model?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, again, the storage would be up to the corporation.
Yeah.
For elementary students, it could be in their cubby. Middle school and high school students, they could have to stay in their locker.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, Dr. Moore and Ms. Kelly, we've done some preliminary work, receiving feedback from admin and just in general how we could best meet the expectations of the law, taking into consideration the financial aspects of this as well. What we have found is that we feel we're in a position to meet the law with option B, which is the storage model, with, as Dr. Reed just stated, elementary students, their storage would be in their classroom cubby, as Dr. Reed stated. At the middle school, we would be asking middle school students to store it in their locker. Specifically, we do not allow backpacks at the middle school. Their classes
It's already been dealt with.
Their classes are within, they're close enough that they can get to and from their locker. There's not a time constraint to it, so we feel the locker would work at the middle school. At the high school, we're going to utilize two storage methods, either a locker or a backpack. High school students are allowed to use their backpack because their locker may be literally on the other side of the building with 3,100 students, 7-minute passing period. We don't know that it's feasible enough to say, okay, this is where you have to keep it and not run into any type of time constraints. So at the high school, we'd like to utilize backpack or locker. And from a bus standpoint, just as Dr. Reed stated, we have a mix in talking with transportation. Some drivers do not allow the students to use them, some drivers do. And I think allowing them to have the flexibility to say yes may help some drivers. But there will be some, I'm not going to say inconsistent, but there will be differences on buses if we use the word may. Because you may be able to use it on bus, bus 1, 2, 3, 4, but you may not be able to use it on bus 6, 7, 8, 9.
Two questions. Dr. Reed, as it relates to the education of transportation departments, as it relates to this, what were some of the strategies used by districts to convey this information to transportation departments to get the answer that you got?
I think in this incident, the board is making a decision for all buses.
Okay.
I think we need
Okay.
to, I don't think
Okay.
it would be, it needs to be consistent across, whether you get on bus 1, 2, 3, 4, or whichever bus you get on, district policy needs to dictate.
Okay. So
And
what you
I-
said, Ms. Kelly?
I think
So
whichever bus you get on, whatever we check, needs to be consistent across, so that if I move and my child changes buses, parent doesn't have to worry.
I think that's what I'm after.
Right.
I'm basically saying, Dr. Bishop, you might say, we add to the policy. Am I out of order when I say that?
Yeah, no, and I think that the way it's written, students may, then that's what it will be. That will be what is
Students may
communicated.
use
Their cell phones
on the
while
bus.
they're on the bus, and that's what's communicated to transportation.
It's communicated to transportation, and make sure that we say something about the operator of the bus driver understanding
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah,
that
sure.
and that he has the jurisdiction if things get out of control, along with the bus monitor.
Yeah.
Does that sound right, Dr. Reed?
Yes, I would suggest that if the bus drivers do have a problem
Yes.
with that, that they develop some guidelines, like
Yes. Yes.
earbuds must be in place, must be used, some rules for using the cell phones.
Yes. That's what I'm after, and then going back to what Ms. Kelly said, that must be the guideline across transportation.
Yes,
Does that make sense, Doctor?
You can say,
Yes.
you can't say you can't have your phone, but here are the parameters.
Here's the
Yeah.
parameters, and if the parameters are not followed, you
may lose
damage
privilege a
everything for the
period
whole
of
bus
time.
ride,
Or, right,
almost.
for a period of time,
For-
you
yeah.
lose that, yeah.
Does that make sense, Doctor?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then secondly, what bothers me, it does not bother me, but the backpack issue. Say, the backpack issue, say my locker is on the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor, and I'm on the 1st floor, at the far end of the 1st floor, and I pull my phone out in the backpack. What would be the consequences for me using my phone?
Sure. So
Does that make sense?
It does, and we've done some footwork there. In working with administrators, as soon as this was released and looking at the policy, we felt like we wanted to provide a broad range of consequences, redirections for this particular policy, because the guidelines are for administrators at the elementary, middle, and high school, and administrators need the flexibility in how you deal with the consequence. So it could be anything from telling them to put their phone away, to we're going to need to go to the office, to potentially confiscating it, to potentially a bigger consequence. There is a very broad list of consequences, Dr. Moore, and we left it that way because every situation is different, and how you deal with a 4th grader with a cell phone is not necessarily how you're going to deal with a senior and a cell phone. And so I think we wrote it in such a way that gives administrators the ability to make the best decision based on the circumstance that they're dealing with.
I don't want us to run to expulsion.
Correct, and that is not an option.
Yeah, that's,
But will-
That
that's
is
all
not
I'm
an
saying.
option.
And will that be like the consequences, like redirection, office meeting, confiscation till the end of the school day or whatever? Will that be spelled out in the handbook?
So it is not, we did not go with first offense, second offense, third offense. And the reason why we didn't is because how you deal with a fourth grader is not the
No,
same
I'm
way
not
we deal
saying
with a
that.
senior.
If there's here are the possible progressions, I guess it's just,
Yes, there is, it's written in the chart of this, if it's this, these are the parameters. If it's this, it's parameters. We just didn't list an offense
First
count.
offense, second
Yes.
offense,
no,
third
I
just-
don't mean
yeah.
in terms of offense, but I'm like, so that parents know.
Yes.
This is the, so they're
Yeah.
not
Yes.
questioning, well, I didn't know
Yes.
that if my student had their phone XYZ, well,
Yes.
the handbook clearly stated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have
If
that.
they take it out.
Yes, we have the information ready to go in the handbook with hopefully
Depending
a
on what we
link.
check.
Yes,
Yeah.
hopefully a link
Yeah.
with the policy. We did list the policy number because we know that it's going to be a policy regardless. And then we're ready to go with a link to the policy once it's updated. We spoke in generalities as it relates to the policy itself, telling people what it is. And once we're finished here, we'll update it with
And then
what
can we
those
also
consequences are.
Put it on our website very visibly and clear.
Yes,
Cell
it-
phone policy, I mean, so that they can go straight to the website, click it. Can it also go out on,
so we've already started sending the messaging out.
I've seen it, but just so that they know, if I click here on the website, I don't have
Yes.
to go to the policy manual. It comes up, and this is the district's expectation
Yes.
of all students and families when
So
they're on campus.
our plan is we've already started sharing it with families.
Mhm.
We're going to send specific parent square messaging in June, July, and 1 week before school, 1 day before school to remind families. Our website is going to be updated, so once the refresh occurs on the website, we will have that information on the website once it's refreshed. We do not have it on there now due to
Until
moving it from,
until it's been
correct.
decided.
So it's our intent to overload some folks with the messaging, knowing that it's still going to take some time to get everyone on the same page. But yes, to your point, Ms. Kelly, another aspect of that is our timeline also includes reminders to administrators, for example, at the high school and at the middle school. They're immediately going to remind when they're going through security at the high school, remember, put your personal communication devices away. That constant extra level of messaging to get everyone into the flow of what this is going to look like moving forward.
Is it possible to when you come into the high school, we see outstanding signage
I'm glad you asked that, Dr. Moore.
about we're this type of school, we're this type of school.
Yep.
We need some signage, basically talking
Well,
about.
I did see
how,
reminder to take to.
do you understand what I'm saying?
So yes, we've got signage.
I don't mean to say it that
No.
way.
No.
But I mean,
We have some signage that Dr. Young has approved. I put some things together theme-wise as a district. We're going to power down for education. We have
Okay.
so we're I will gladly show that to you once we're here. But we've tried to get ahead of as much as we could before we got to this meeting, so that we could lay it all out for you in regards to how we plan to
and
roll
when
this
we
out.
go, when you bring these up in our school meetings,
Yep.
I would love to see some of that signage in our school board meetings. So if people don't see it on the website,
Yep.
They'll see it there.
they'll see it there, and they'll see it, and they'll be able to say then, well, it's in the lobby, ma'am, sir.
Yep.
And the children see it every morning when they come in.
Yeah.
And like all the communication forms, if the language we're gonna use is power down, if that's the
Yeah.
campaign,
Yes.
then consistent across, here's what that looks like and what that means.
Yep.
And I don't know, and when we do orientations and new student meetings, like again,
Yep.
here's
Yep.
the expectation.
Dr. Reed, I see that it's 9:31.
Thank you.
I can actually, they're running behind. I
Okay.
can actually stay till
Okay.
a little after 10.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay, so we're, just as a refresh for this, we're going with option B, which is the storage.
Yes.
For students may use PCDs while on the bus. And so another section here, it says the use of PCDs outside of the school day. And this is where we would grant permission, potentially, or not, to use cell phones in other capacities. So students, if we check students are permitted to use personal communication devices, we could check on corporation property outside the school day, during after-school activities such as extracurricular activities at the discretion of the sponsor, advisor, or coach, and C, at school-related functions at the discretion of the sponsor, advisor, or coach. So my first question is, do you all feel like we're going to allow it or not allow it?
My thoughts initially are we need to allow it, because what I've always known at the end of the game, students contact your ride.
Yes.
Most definitely, we have to.
So we need, and then if a game gets rained out, whatever, and students need to be picked up early, they need to have access to contact their parent or ride.
It has to be allowed.
Okay.
For outside of the academic times, yeah. I think we
Okay.
need to do that.
And then would you like to check A through D?
On corporation property outside of the school day. B, doing after-school activities at school-related functions and the discretion of sponsors. Before we do that, let's not forget about the bus driver criteria and monitor criteria as it relates to the bus drivers. Let's not forget about that, but that's going to have to be created. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure you wrote that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think A through D is going to work.
Okay.
Dr. Reed?
Yep.
A through D will work?
Yes, and D also includes the discretion of the bus driver.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
not that they can't say no, but they can say here are the
Right.
parameters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So someone taking the basketball team or the cheer block, something like that, they can decide yes or no.
Dr. Reed, I hadn't heard that term for a long time, the cheer block.
I've been around a long time, not anymore.
Well, bless your spirit. I hadn't heard that one in a while.
All right. What other choices?
Okay, so on the next page, which is the next to the last page, there is one section, two sections actually, that require a couple of boxes checked. The first one is found in the second full paragraph. Students who violate the policy.
Let me see if we're in the right one right here. Right here, draft. Right here.
Nope.
Did I
Let's
miss it?
see. I think you just went over one. It might be. That's the first page.
It's right back here.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
So students who violate the policy and or use a PCD to violate the privacy rights of another person, we have a decision on whether we're going to choose shall or may have their PCD confiscated and held, and then there's three boxes that could potentially be checked. Thoughts on this, Dr. Reed? I think it's multi-layered when it comes to this.
Yes, it is. When checking shall or may,
Two words make a lot.
if you select shall and a student is not using it, maybe they think it's an emergency, then they would still have to have it confiscated. If you choose may, then you leave it up to the teacher, and then that creates students saying, this teacher will let you.
Yeah.
They won't take it. And that's when policies generally break down, because teachers aren't consistent with the mays. On the other hand, shall is a yes, they must do it.
Because it will also send the message to other students as it relates to versus shall versus may.
Yes.
It will send, well, if she took Susie's phone, it could happen, or whatever, if she took Susie's PCD
Right.
under the jurisdiction of shall, it could happen to me. And I think the shall works. It's a way of,
What you have to do, I would not recommend making the parent pick it up unless, and you can always add your own caveats through your administrative guidelines, that at the principal's discretion, if you have someone who constantly violates this, you may want to ratchet it up to have the parent have to come in and get it. But sometimes parents don't have transportation to come and get it.
Yes, our past practice has not been to make a parent come pick it up for that very reason. At times, a parent may not be able to make it to the school, and that becomes an even greater hardship on the family when it comes to whatever situation is occurring. So I'll go back to the, are we going the shall or may? Shall or may?
I'm torn. And I'll say for the, because what I'm hearing.
you're saying the may?
I'm torn
And
between
Ms. Kelly.
shall and may, because I'm hearing teachers in every district feeling like they don't want that responsibility, but at the same time, students need,
Discipline.
they need that. But then also, that means if you do shall, that every time, the same thing we need the consistency, but at the same time, we need the discretion to determine case by case. But some teachers don't want that. Some do. So I'm torn, having been in the classroom, and understanding the difference between a shall and a may when it comes to, okay, just because, no, you weren't violating anybody's privacy, you weren't doing these things, I can't overlook it because of the shall.
Dr. Reed, can you share your conversation with other districts when it comes to shall or may?
They're having the same conversations as your committee, because in shall and may, there are consequences to both.
Yeah.
Problems with choosing both of these. Teachers do not want, by and large, to be responsible for confiscating and having that personal property with them. You could get creative and have a student runner take the cell phone to the office, and teachers could be given larger envelopes to put the name of the student on, and have them stored in the office that they would need to pick up after school. But,
I would agree with you in our conversations that we've had at leadership in May, and additional conversations that we've had with administrators, that there is this level of concern. And my head always goes to the high school because it's a small town. Mm-hmm. And how do you navigate this small town when it comes to this particular legislation? And there is a good deal of concern as it relates to the responsibility of the teacher and trying to navigate whether a phone is confiscated or not, knowing that on a day-to-day basis they're dealing with 7 periods, I'm going to say, 150 to 200 kids, and initially this is going to be, it's going to be an interesting start. Mm-hmm. And how many phones am I going to collect in the first
3 periods? You know what? I'm all right. Dr. Reed, and Miss Kelly, and Dr. Bishop. I'm all right with being outnumbered. I'm okay with May. If we got to do May,
but I'm still torn with the May because
Yeah.
that still puts it on the teacher to have that. I don't want our teachers to have a confrontation with a student over that.
Well, and that aspect has come up even in our leadership, Miss Kelly.
Okay.
Our conversation
What's our
with
plan?
admin is that if you have a situation where a student refuses to comply, teachers are going to be told to immediately turn that over to admin.
that's exactly right.
Right, but here's the thing, it's not to escalate, because guess what? You're coming here tomorrow. So you may not comply with me today,
Yeah,
but you're going to be sitting right back in that seat tomorrow.
I know, but I'm saying.
And so
then
there's that- Admin
now
works through, so now
ready to deal with
your non-compliance, this is no longer a personal communication device issue. This is now a non-compliance issue.
And it's a classroom management issue as well.
Okay,
Yes.
is this gonna? Now I'm worried about our number of referrals. I'm worried about.
We've told our administrators we're going to expect that our referral count is going to go up at the beginning of the year, because it's going to be new. We're going to have to give students and families an opportunity to, and I hope that everyone gets this and everyone's going to do what they're supposed to do on the first day of school, and we're going to have no issues.
But and I guess then the messaging again.
Mm-hmm.
Even all multiple languages.
Yes.
Because we support 80-something different languages, I believe, or close to. We have a lot of languages we support, and helping students understand. And then families. It's not the district that has
Correct.
just made this. This
Correct.
came from.
And our messaging
Above us.
to families the first go around made it clear that this was not the MSD of Pike Township.
No.
This was
The state of Indiana.
correct.
The burden of
Correct.
Pike Township is to message it.
Right.
Yeah.
But
It
I
is a
think-
tremendous burden to message this.
But we have to, and I like how you rolled it out. I like the power down for it. I like that.
Yeah,
It put a
Yeah.
positive spin.
But this
on
is
it.
going to be a weekly going on situation. Cell phones are just like kids putting on tennis shoes.
Right.
Tennis shoes
They are.
every day.
They are.
And am I right, Dr. Reed?
So
It's just like a child putting on tennis shoes every day, putting a cell phone in their hand. And all I'm saying in that scenario is, it's once you put a tennis shoe on, you forget you got it on. You just know it's on.
Even for adults, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like if I leave, I'll turn all the way back around and go home because half of my brain
Yes.
is on there.
Yeah, and all I'm saying in that scenario is that you're going to have to make a decision to create the policy that's going to be functional for everybody.
So okay, I guess we've conceded. We're going with May.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be the burden of the administration to help the classroom
Yeah. I feel like
cultivate this thing in a way.
Administration is going to have
Yeah.
have to step in and
But I think it's going to have to, in my estimation, Dr. Bishop and Dr. Reed, you all can help me. It's going to be how that principal navigates that building with this.
Yes.
It's going to have to be, and there's just certain things that are going to have to be in. That's why messaging at that lobby level is going to be important in elementary, wherever children begin to deal with cell phones in the educational system. Messaging has to start in the lobby, and money has to be budgeted for that messaging.
And
That's
whether
just
your
how
day
I
starts-
feel about it.
Right.
People might not look at it.
And whether
that
your
way.
day starts with morning meeting, or, you know, if you're elementary.
It's part of the announcement process.
Right.
Remember,
Announce
students.
every day.
Remember, students. This is principal so and so and so. Remember,
Every day.
your cell phones are important. So much so, make sure you have your cell phone stored in your cubby. Make sure your cell phones are in your backpack.
Your
Make
locker,
sure
wherever.
it's part of announcements now.
Daily.
As far as I'm concerned, it is. I don't know if you look at it that way, Dr. Bishop, Dr. Reed, but it's a part of the announcement process now.
I do, but I will add to that, Dr. Moore, that we use, and it is predominantly a cell phone law, but it's also so much more than that,
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
right?
Whether
And
you
so
bring your
we
your own
get
tablet,
we
your
were
own-
honing in on cell phones as we should, but the messaging
Has to
and that
be.
we've created even for ourselves to share with the community it's so much more
in your
than just cell
personal
phones.
device.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And getting families, because some will say, well, okay, fine, I won't use my cell phone, but I'm going to use now this. Well, no, you can't use that
'Cause your
either.
tablet is just
Right.
the same.
And so I think this is multi-layered when getting folks to understand that it's often referred to as a cell phone law. It is much broader than just that.
So you're saying, Dr. Bishop, it's technology discipline we got to look at now. So we have to create and message technology discipline, whether it be tablets, watches, or
Even
glasses.
even your own personal computer.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so
You all should expect a learning curve.
yes.
Yeah.
That's just something that every new program goes through.
Yeah.
And your administration has been through this before with our previous policy. And feedback I got from high school principals that this policy was, the previous policy was good. I think this one will be even better.
Okay.
Okay, so we still need to address, do we want to check the end of the school day, a parent guardian pick it up, and may be directed to delete audio and or picture video? So those three.
End of the school day, I think we do need to check. So if it is confiscated, they can pick it up at the end of the day. Parents aren't burdened with having, unless, you know. they
Make them
feel like-
responsible to pick up their own phone? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear you say
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Students are responsible to get their own phone at the end of the day, and then if there is,
I think.
and then
I-
delete the.
I think that it needs to,
inappropriate things.
I agree with that, but here's the add-on to it. They need to be responsible, pick up their own phone, but their parents need to be notified that the phone was confiscated and taken from them all day, but they are going to be responsible for picking their phone up. Let them know that you don't have to come and pick it up, but it was their behavior displayed that it was you understand what I'm saying? Dr.?
Yes, and
Can we
that
add
would be part of
notification
the,
to that, or is that?
I
something-
think
Dr.
that
Reed,
could be
how's
in
that
the
sound, Dr. Reed?
guidelines, in the consequence guidelines for
Is it in there?
administrators. Yes,
Good.
because
Right.
anytime
You
you
can
would
check
need to
all
put it
of
in
those.
policy.
Yes. Good.
I would definitely check the last one, maybe directed to delete audio and picture video
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
the parent's present.
Oh,
In other words, in other words, if I could say it this way,
That would be for your more severe cases, but since you chose May,
yeah.
that is an administrative decision.
Yes, and to your point, Dr. Reed, since we chose May, in essence, checking all three would work because May doesn't mean that we have to do it. And there may be a
Yes.
scenario where I've asked Maggie to put away her phone 3 different times. Now I'm going to need your mom to come in and pick it up because
Yes.
we keep having the same conversation. So that gives us the ability to do
So all
that.
check off rate,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay.
Dr. Bishop, did I miss the check before at the end of what took us the most time to discuss? It says
Sorry.
PCD use is not permitted unless specifically allowed by the policy, or PCD use is allowed except prohibited by the policy. They seem very similar.
You know what? I don't think
It's
that we did.
statements.
You're right. We missed that. So we need to check which one we would work with. It's
Down here.
yes.
Oh, I thought we said permitted,
Where it says use and permitted
Did we
specific.
choose is not?
oh, unless it's,
I don't think we did, even though I think I have an X on. So basically, we need to choose one. Personal communication device is not permitted unless specifically allowed by this policy. Or we could go the other direction where it is allowed except as prohibited by this policy. Can you expound, Dr.
right,
Yes.
Reed?
difference.
Please, doctor.
Oh, well,
I mean, in my
Yes.
mind, isn't it easier just to say whatever's in the policy that's not
Yes.
permitted works?
Yeah,
that's the one that I would choose and others have chosen.
Okay. So,
So the first one, not permitted unless specifically allowed.
so that would be the first box, correct, Dr. Reed?
it would be.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's almost like they're saying the same thing to me though.
It does.
Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
is that
No, we've got one more down in
Oh, that's right.
enforcement,
That's right,
and then I think we're almost there.
for this one.
You heard this one.
Violations, this policy.
Okay, so this was one where conversation and leadership from admin, we felt like having teachers keep it in their designated area makes it difficult. And in essence, takes it out of the admin's hands. If I'm trying to confiscate it, teacher leaves, has bus duty, I'm trying to get to a phone, to the phone.
To pick it up at the end
Correct.
of the day, right? No, it needs to be in
Mhm.
the central
Yeah.
office, yeah.
So not checking it would keep that off of the table,
Right.
per se. Okay.
Because even I'm concerned about this shell
Mhm.
and the law enforcement.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that, yeah.
Okay, I think we made it through everything within this policy, Dr. Reed.
Yay.
And,
That's been a tough one for everyone.
yes, it has. So the one other policy that's attached to this one is 5136.01, and that talks about the electronic equipment other than PCDs. And so there are a couple of areas within this policy that I would like to talk through.
Okay, what devices would that include?
Well, the way that it's written is that it doesn't, interestingly enough, it doesn't give like specific equipment. I think it gives specific scenarios. And so here in the second paragraph, it says PCDs are defined in any portable wireless device that has the capability to provide voice.
So this comes back to the things other than cell phones.
Yes. Yes.
Whether you bring your tablet, your laptop,
Did you
your
find it, Dr.
e-reader.
I'm looking for it now. I must have misplaced it. Let's see.
It's usually in the area closest to,
Yeah.
let's go this direction, where your first one was. Here it is, 5136.
Yeah. I'm still learning how to get through it.
Yeah, I think I may have another policy attached to it here.
So
That's 5136. Let's turn this
There it is.
in. That's this, but
You got something attached to it, don't you?
I feel like there is, but nope, here it is. That's, I don't know what this is for.
Is it right here?
Um, it may, I think this
It's
is
3
part of
pages.
another policy, cause,
It's
it's
3.
it may be attached to something that was already there, so we'll figure that part out here in a second. But that one that you have in your hand
Right here?
is the one that we're working with,
Right
yes. Yep,
Okay,
yep.
I'll just put this right here. Right over here.
So, Dr. Reed, the green here is the update in the language based on, SB 78. I think they do a wonderful job of, listing out all of the wonderful options of technology in that second paragraph. That gives smartwatches, smart glasses, gaming devices, web-enabled devices of any type. So I think that piece is pretty concrete. And then on the back page of this, it says that students may possess and use non-personal communication device technology resources and other electronic equipment or devices as provided in this policy, as long as they do not create a distraction, disruption, or otherwise interfere with the environment. Use on corporation property that results in a distraction, disruption, or otherwise interfere with the school environment shall not be tolerated. So in my mind, I'm trying to make this align with the first policy.
Yes.
And I'm struggling a bit when we just told them they can't use it, and now we're saying
You can.
you can.
Right. Well, these would be
School
These would
issue?
be devices that do not have the capability of the internet.
Okay,
So they would be non-communication devices. There are tablets that just have games on them. And
Okay.
they're not connected to the internet
okay,
or a cell phone.
Nor would be connected to the system here at the school, right?
yeah,
Right.
okay, okay. All right,
How do we,
That definition is pretty clear.
and
yes.
then how do you navigate and ensure that that is the case?
Well, I think if I'm reading this correctly, Dr. Reed, these in essence are, can we assume that these are school issued devices? Because I look at there's a second paragraph that says, consequently, the school board will supply any technology resources
Mhm, I saw that.
and other electronic equipment or devices necessary. So am I connecting that correctly in that any school issued device, the student is able to proceed because it's a school issued educational need?
Yes.
Okay,
So I think this only causes us to bump up our deadline of making sure all students are issued their device, and not saying, well, like the deadline is 2028, but that we are ahead of that to cover, saying that you don't have to worry about bringing your device because we've already issued you one that this is what you should be using. You shouldn't have your tablet, your this, your that, because you have what you need for your educational purposes.
okay.
That
think-
make-
I think we'll need to take a look at the timeline for implementation. I can't speak to Chromebook rollout, so I can't speak to
No, I
that.
know, but I'm thinking that these two policies behoove us to move as quickly as
Yes.
we can on that deadline.
Yeah.
As fast as, or we begin, even if we don't get like if we have, but we start as, it's gonna take as long as it takes, but we start as soon as we can.
Yes, and I don't want to give the impression that we don't have Chromebooks for all of our students,
I
or that they're not being given.
Right, but
Some,
I'm saying that we, students, you need to transition.
yes, yes.
Based on policy, you can no longer bring that with you.
Yes.
But based on this first policy, we've already said you can't bring it with you. But then this is,
Not necessarily, because the first policy denotes that we have an effective date of 2028. So
2028 date
Yes.
is effective.
so there's some padding in there. Yes, we can try to get them as quickly as possible, but the policy does denote that it is absolutely effective as of July
but I'm saying
2028.
students, we need to begin preparing you now so that you won't be like, well, I was able to do it this school year and the next school, and then all of a sudden students are like, oh, I can't bring it. Nope. The messaging included with
Mm-hmm.
this messaging campaign that's going out needs to say transition to your school device.
Yes, and it's listed in all of the things that the law incorporates, so it's already enveloped into the long
I
list.
think it needs to say specifically, like when the messaging is going out, parents need to know you don't need to send that device.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's there.
But as clearly as we can state it, because you know parents aren't going to dig through. They need they want the high points.
Correct. And the messaging that we've created, it's definitely not a narrative. We've tried to create messaging and imaging that is very succinct and to the point so that they don't have to go to the policy to figure that piece out. So we can certainly get feedback from you all if you feel like we need additional pieces created
I
to
guess
help in that regard.
Once we see the signage and the messaging, because it's going to have to be a campaign almost.
It is.
I think.
And I think, yes, it is definitely.
An ongoing, constant
Yes.
campaign.
Yes. On page 2, there is a piece here, Dr. Reed, that says students may use non-PCD technology resources, electronic equipment, and devices. And so that I'm clear, we've chosen may in the other policy, so we would check while
There-
riding to and from school on a corporation bus. So do
Yes.
these need to match 5136?
May.
Yes, you need to be consistent.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't want to be inconsistent with that.
And that's why I'm saying, like, we need to make sure it says, whatever we said over here, we said over here, like,
But Dr. Bishop, that's why the guidelines are going to be so, when we talked about earlier.
Yes. Yeah.
and that our drivers are trained and know if they fall within the guidelines, you can't.
Yes. And yes. So I don't recall in our other one because I checked sponsor, advisor, coach because that was part of it, but I don't recall there being classroom teacher in the other.
No, it wasn't.
There wasn't, and it's listed here. So do you all want to move forward with that, or do you want to check it or leave it off?
Now, is this providing so that if the teacher should want to use it for classroom purposes, is that what that?
We did not use the shell on the classroom as well, so we might as well leave the may there,
Right.
Dr. Bishop. The may would be consistent as well.
Yes, and I'll keep going back to the fact that this would be would truly need to be based on the educational experience,
That's it.
not you can do this on your free time,
Yeah.
if that
No,
makes
no,
sense.
no. Like if you're doing if I'm doing my Kahoot review,
Yeah.
or my
Yeah, that's all.
Quizlet
Yes.
review,
Yes.
and students access,
Yep.
That's it.
or
Yep.
they need
Yes.
their
Yeah. So
device for that.
I'll check that.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're checking
Classroom.
Yep.
classroom. So we're checking all the boxes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. On the next page,
But we got the bottom, do we need to?
I didn't see anything that needed to be added other than what's already there.
Others, okay, we don't have any others right now.
Let's see the student violation, that's where we're going.
So, yes,
Student violations of policy, and the use of technology resources, electronic equipment, devices that violate the privacy of rights of another person.
and so it would appear to me that we would check May to
It would
match
be.
our other May.
Yes, ma'am.
And the end of the school day to match our other end of the school day.
Yes,
And maybe directed to delete the audio as in the other
yes,
piece,
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
Consistency, yeah.
Yeah. And then in the large last paragraph,
Where it talks about the violation
yes.
of this policy, disciplinary action. You have an area where it says the name and down there.
So we did check it in our previous because this was in a designated teacher's classroom and
Right.
we opted to take that out, so we would not check it.
Yeah, I don't think we do that.
No, we
Okay.
won't check
We
that.
leave it the same,
Okay.
Good
consistent.
point.
Alrighty, we made it through both of them.
The most difficult ones. Thank you, Dr. Reed, for extending yourself.
That was the one I guess dreading is the word.
I would
Can
love
I
to
say
have you,
that
Dr.
when I
Reed, in my
saw
cheering
both of
block.
these, I thought of you. I was like, oh, she's gonna have,
My
she's
show
gonna be
and my
ready.
days and and I knew it was coming, so I said, let me put my little thinking cap on. But I think, like you said,
Those
the
two you wanted to
proactive,
get, Dr. Bishop.
Yes,
the proactive route
Yes.
that you've taken
yeah,
is going to be helpful
yeah.
in the rollout of this. And I think
We're certainly
even
trying to,
what,
oh,
hopefully parents have been watching the news as well, because the news has definitely talked a lot about.
Dr. Reed, before we lose you, is there any other policy in here that you feel we need to draw our attention to that may have some areas that we need to consider or might be something that we need to take a look at?
Those are the hot spots, and Dr. Bishop, you always prepare so well
Amen.
and work with your administrators to specifically delve into these policies. In fact, I want to tell your board members that you are, if not the best, one of the two best Neola policy handlers for your districts that I work with, because it is, you ask the specific questions that need to be addressed, but you have already outlined so much that I'm just very impressed.
Thanks, Dr. Reed. I
and
appreciate it.
thankful for you.
No, I do. I appreciate it. You given, there's never a time where you don't respond quickly to the questions that I have. So it does not come without lots of support from the board and yourself. So I'm thankful for that experience. So, but I appreciate it, and I'm always in your ear about what we need to be wary of, because I know that you're across the state working with schools as we all try to tackle new legislation and how we're going to implement it. So, but I appreciate that. If there isn't anything that you feel is heavy as we just finished, then I think we'll go back to starting with 0100, the bylaws, and then we can just go in order from there, unless you want Ms. Kelly or Dr. Moore to start in a different location.
Well, thank you for your time today
Thank
with
you.
me.
Thank
And
you.
I apologize for not being able to stay the whole time, but when you switched your dates,
Yeah.
I had already had a appointment with another district.
No worries, Dr. Reed. You know that I'll be contacting you with my questions.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Thank you. Have a
It was
good
nice
weekend.
to meet you, Dr. Moore, and to see you again.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great one.
Where we going from here now?
We are going to start with, the 0100.
Now, let me find that,
Should-
because it's so
Oh.
00. What does it look like, maybe?
So
'Cause
I
went
think
through
you
this
might
once
have,
before. I could-
what number do you currently have in front of you, Dr. Moore? What's this one here? Go back to the front page here.
I thought I had it.
Yes, you was right there. You're ready to go.
Well, I'm trying to get
After
the
your
link. I had
legal
it.
notices.
I looked at all of it the other day, and
Yep, so you're almost there too. There you go.
it's on the back of here, that's
Oh,
where
we're
it is.
going, what's
Yeah.
after?
So
The
these
main-
are 2 legal alerts, and then here's our checklist
Okay,
of where we are in order.
yeah. So, our legal, do we need to look at those?
I was gonna wait till
Next time.
the later so that we could try to work our way through some of
This
these
is where we are right here,
policies.
right?
So go to the beginning, the front, the very
Okay.
first, yep,
Okay.
start on the front. And before we kick in, I have us ending at 11.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's see how, or we can go longer.
I mean,
You-
I'm open to
I have
a
to
longer
move a
time
little
that you
bit.
have.
Let's
Okay,
move around
so
a little bit.
11,
We'll go to
11, and we'll see where we land.
And then
Okay.
we can reschedule.
Okay, so with 0100, this is, it is on page 2. Because of SB 78, it's redefining the personal communication device section.
Yeah,
So it's aligning with the other policy, and it's including, even in your bylaws from board, what now fits into personal communication devices. So, Dr. Moore, as a point of reference, when we're looking at revisions, if it's in green, that is the new portion that is being added to the policy, and that's in essence the update.
okay.
Sometimes, for example, when you see the word the section policy, sometimes the update is simply a word change. So they went from which to that. So it could be a wide range of green text, but that is the alert for us
So
to
this
take a
all
look
stays
at.
the
From
same.
which
Yes.
to that?
Mhm. Yes. So
Or shall to a may,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
or
so
This
for
is gonna be a lot, much easier than where we came from.
yes, it is. So, for example, under classified, the blank, I've already gone back in, so it reads the Metropolitan School District of Pike Township. That's what's missing.
Yes,
And at the top, we have checked bylaws and policies and the superintendent administrative guidelines. That's our current check. Here.
okay.
the school boards or the,
The second check. I see.
Bylaws and policies, yep. And down at the bottom, it's the
Goodness.
Metropolitan School District of Pike Township, or the MSD. We just spell it out from a
so that-
policy
yeah.
standpoint. That's what it
Yes.
is. And then everything else, when it comes to this policy, you'll see green on the very last page, and that's because we're updating the year. And that's everything for 0100.
Let me see that, where's that green at? Let me see yours.
It's down on your very last page. It should be 3 pages, Dr. Moore.
There it
right
is,
here.
there it is, there it is,
Yep.
I got it, I got it. That's
Yep.
just the date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
so here we go, talks about the difference between the shall and the will and the may.
With that policy.
Okay, so next is 0150, which is the organizational meeting.
This one right here.
Yes, and that too, it clarifies Indiana code. It clarifies the mandatory timeline requiring the school board's organizational meeting to occur within 30 days after the commencement date of the member's term of office. And so you'll see that in green. That is the green portion. The current policy that we have lists that the ranking officer of the board is the one that presides over the election. So just as a footnote for you all. That's what's currently
And
in
that's
our
what
policy.
and I think we can leave that as is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it just denotes and reinforces the 30 days, the 30-day timeline here. In your packet, I don't know, yes, the blue document is actually, they provided us a sample of a public meeting notice,
Yeah.
just as an FYI. So it's not part of the policy, but sometimes they'll give us an example so that we have a point of reference. Okay, so that's all there is with that one.
And we're going to code,
So 1220. So we have now left bylaws, and now we're moving into just standard policies. So bylaws are anything in the zeros.
yeah.
Okay, so this is employment of the superintendent. This has been revised to align with Indiana Code. Specifically, it was updated to include additional information regarding the notice of hearing on a superintendent contract, a board resolution upon appointment of a superintendent, and posting of superintendent's contract. The legal reference has been updated. So when you look at the first page, you'll see the green is new. So they've added an aspect in here that says that the board shall appoint a superintendent if a vacancy occurs or will immediately occur in the office of the superintendent due to expiration of the term, death, resignation, or removal from office of the incumbent superintendent. The board shall fix their salary and term of employment. And it moves on. So they're much more specific. It was broad before, and now they're getting more specific so that it aligns with Indiana Code. For your reference, it's the next section where it says note, select this option if the board is elected. You all are elected board members, so that part is currently checked in our policy. And then at the bottom, it may be added in the task by A, B, C, D are all checked. Letter A for the next section is currently checked. And all of B through G checked. Then there are some areas in here.
So A there, and then on the next
All
one,
of these. Yep.
Oh,
A, B,
A.
C, D.
Okay.
And the next one. Yep.
and then
And then on the back side, B through G. All of
so
them.
we have all of that.
Yes. Yep. So there is a small revision. Instead of at least 7 days before, they just use the word before. That's been updated. And then under the name of the candidate for position of superintendent, it was shall be included. Now Indiana Code has revised this so that it reads is not required to be disclosed. So it went from shall to, in essence, in my mind, may. But they
Okay,
just did put
so-
may.
So now, just for clarification, we do not have to post.
The name of the candidate for a
I'm
position
saying
of
the
superintendent.
these
Yeah.
7 days.
You no
It is
longer
not
have
required
the
to
7-day
disclose.
window
After what?
up here.
That's
They-
what I'm trying to.
correct.
No
So-
person may employ superintendent unless they have signed the employment agreement.
It used to be that you had to do it within 7 days. Now they've taken the specific 7-day window away. You just need to do it before a contract for employment is entered into. You need to hold a public meeting.
Because we used to do it, then have to wait so
Yeah.
many days.
Correct.
And now, I'm just
All you
wondering.
Yeah.
have to do is just hold a public meeting.
Yes, correct. They
Okay.
they removed the timeline. Well, the 7-day timeline, I should say.
Because we used to say, we would, I think the last time we gave ourselves like 10 days, just to make sure we were within that 7-day
You
window.
don't have to do that anymore.
Right,
Correct.
I'm just,
Yep. Yeah, and so the next portion of that is you're no longer required to disclose the name of the candidate. That's also new. And it's new, but it's not in the sense of it already read shall not be included in the notices. Now it's saying is not required to be disclosed in the notices.
when you hold, so once the hearing is held, that's when they'll find out who those people are.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
community doesn't necessarily have to know prior to that.
Correct.
Or,
So you give it to them.
So A, B, C,
I
D.
think the community may have an issue with not knowing.
Community doesn't know until you tell them.
Right. But I'm saying if they don't know who,
Well, let's read this in its entirety because there's flexibility there. The name of the candidate for the position of superintendent is not required to be disclosed in the notices or discussions of the proposed contract. It is not required, but that doesn't mean
You can't
that
do
you
it.
can't do it,
right.
right? They're not saying that you have to do it, but you can.
But there may be folks that interpret that as, we're not gonna give people information.
That's not what they're saying, Ms. Kelly.
Okay.
That's basically saying you have the option. If you get pressure, you can. If you don't get pressure, you don't have to do it.
And I think that there are other, so attached to this, you have some flexibility. The board has flexibility when you're making your notice, because that's what this is, right? It's giving you the guidelines on which you're making notice to the public on this particular process. So you have the ability to give A, B, C, and D, which includes all the benefits in paid aspect of it. So I think it, prior to the shall not be included in red, which has now been deleted, actually gives the board more flexibility in how they navigate that position and the information related to it. The green portion underneath that gives the resolution piece of this. So the board's appointment of the superintendent shall be effective by resolution of the board, that aspect of it. And the resolution must specify the day on which the superintendent's term begins and the day on which the superintendent's term ends. The superintendent's salary must be prescribed in that resolution declaring the superintendent's appointment, and must be paid to the superintendent in a frequency determined by the board, but not less frequent than monthly. So this is an add. This was not in the previous policy, and so that tells me, Ms. Kelly, I believe you've gone through this process, that in the past, the board has not gone this route from a resolution standpoint. So I highlight this because this would be a new step that had not been taken before. Okay? All right. The board shall post the provision of the employment contract that the board enters into with the superintendent of the school on the school's website. That too is new. Okay? So just some asterisks for, just as a point of reference, as you're keeping your notes and you're going through these. Okay, that piece is the only new piece to this particular policy.
So down here, we already have.
We used option A, which they may be employed. And we also choose option C. That's where our current policy is.
Right.
And we do not utilize option D, E, F. And then in our other options to be considered, we have chosen and are working under adverse workplace behavior or behavior that affects the workplace that arises because of personal relationships will not be tolerated. And the superintendent so appointed shall devote themselves to the duties of their office. Those are the two areas that we're working with.
Adverse
Yep.
and
Superintendent. The superintendent is appointed, so the one underneath it.
okay, those two.
Yes. Yep.
What about, I'm looking at the option, any relationship that interferes with the corporation culture. teamwork, I'm wondering if,
Will you read, which one is that?
second one, any relationship that interferes with
Any
the
relationship that
corporation-
interferes with the corporation culture of teamwork,
harmonious
the
working-
harmonious work environment, or productivity of employees will be subject to discipline up to and including termination.
We don't have that currently, but I'm wondering if we need to consider that.
May I pose a question?
Yes, you may.
Can that statement fit into adverse workplace behavior?
Adverse workplace behavior are behavior that affects the workplace, that arises because of personal relationships, will not be tolerated. Corporation employees will disregard this policy, will be subject to discipline up to and is that including termination. Any relationship that interferes with corporation culture and workplace. When I look at the two, I think the one that adverse workplace behavior, if reported, it could work. But if reported, it could work. But when you talk about any relationship interference in corporate culture workplace,
I'm not saying get rid of these, I'm saying
no,
in
listen to
addition
what I'm saying, man. Adverse workplace, if reported, could work. You gotta have enough within you to say, well, if I'm being affected, who could I report it to get some, either one of them would have to be reported.
But if somebody else notices this relationship,
But it has to be reported. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
well, but that's any of the scenarios.
Right. The scenario is, if the workplace is being affected in any of these in no uncertain terms, it has to be reported. And so are people to the place to where they can say, hey, I'm feeling this, and I see this. Does that make sense? And I think it needs to be addressed. I think either one of them could work, but it has to be the individual who will step up and make it known.
Ms. Kelly, may I ask, how do you view them differently in the sense of what's not being covered per se in the what would be classified as adverse workplace behavior that you feel we need to check that? And you all, by no means am I saying don't check it. You all can move in that direction, but I'm just prodding so I understand what is missing from that line that is added by adding the additional one.
Ms. Kelly, I don't think you're wrong or anything. I'm just saying.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong with adding it. But from a policy standpoint, how do you view them as different? Because if we have someone to Dr.
me,
Moore's,
this is saying that is going to affect the personal relationship. But I'm saying if that personal relationship is identified and we cut it off, we may be able to even cut off before it affects other things.
So any relationship that interferes with the corporation culture of teamwork, the harmonious work environment, or the productivity of employees will be subject to discipline up to including termination. So in my mind, I'm just speaking out loud, this could potentially be a situation where I don't necessarily have an adversarial work environment with Maggie, but I may have yet Maggie and I don't seem to be working eye to eye, and when you say yes, I say no, and we're not making any progress, and it's affecting, in essence, our work environment. Am I headed in the right direction?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
part of it.
That is
Okay.
part of it.
Okay.
Or
And my
even-
influence
Right.
Okay.
is affecting others towards
Ability to
Maggie.
get there
Okay.
and prohibiting Maggie from getting done what she needs to get done.
Okay.
Or whoever's in whatever position, they're being stymied from.
Yeah.
Yes. And so based on, because I'm processing when I'm giving you the example, based on that, then I would say that scenario does not fit within the adverse working environment, and you're at liberty to check
Yeah,
that.
Because, well, and it's interesting, last night, when I was leaving, because we've been discussing the human dignity, like lots of different things.
Yes.
So when I came out of the graduation last night, we clearly have our human dignity
Yes.
policy on the wall
Mhm.
for everyone to see. And I was looking at it, and yes, it could be, if you violate
Yes.
that, it's going to be adverse. But if I violate that, that culture is in effect. So I'm the culture and the.
you came up with that yourself, or you and someone else?
No, when I was there last night, I read the thing, and I'm like, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, we need to protect the teamwork,
Mhm.
the culture of the individual. It's got to be. So that is what, as I was reading it, like you're saying, the difference between if it's going to prohibit people from being able to think and do and move in the position that they're in. I'm not saying go out of the scope of what you're assigned to do, but
Yes.
if you don't feel comfortable that you can even, yes, that moves over into an adverse,
Mhm.
but even
Yes.
before you get there,
Understood. I understand the direction that you're going with this. Dr. Moore, any feedback on that?
Which one did you have selected? That you had these
So
to show
our,
the point?
our current policy has adverse workplace behavior. Our current policy
Yes.
does not have any relationship that interferes with the corporation culture of teamwork. So
Mm-hmm.
the question I think Ms. Kelly is posing, she'd like to add it.
Mm-hmm.
Any concerns with adding that?
I mean, my concern in the not in the whole situation is whatever arises that would affect whatever is in either one. I hope I'm not.
Sure, yes, understood.
It has to be addressed.
all right, I want it covered.
I want it.
No
I want it.
matter
I
what
want
it
it. I
is.
want it addressed. I don't want it prolonged. I want it addressed to fix whatever needs to be fixed, so that culture does not become damaged, that teamwork does not become ruptured, and that influence does not be misinterpreted. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, and so it sounds as if you are on the same page when it comes to that. But I will remind you that
Or is there somewhere else that's
No.
already covered?
no, it isn't. But checking these the policy doesn't encompass what, for example, Dr. Moore stated earlier. It doesn't encompass someone saying something.
Right.
And so it sounds as if you want to add this check, but that's not going to necessarily guarantee
See,
that
that's
you're going to
here's what I
hear
see.
that piece.
Here's what I see, Dr. Bishop. Someone experiencing this, being able to say it, and still remain safe in saying it. Does that make sense, Dr. Bishop?
Yes.
If Dr. Kelly comes at me, and for so much, and then all of a sudden, and I go to Dr. I'm using us since we're sitting here.
Sure.
And I go to Dr. Bishop. Dr. Bishop, I got an issue. Can you help me? Dr. Kelly's beating me down. Can you help me? Okay. And I just feel I'm being beat down. And I feel I'm having problems in the workplace. I feel my relationship is just not there. Can you help me? All right. And doctor, she addresses you with it. And I'm comfortable that she addresses you with it, and I remain an employee in good standings, and things begin to heal and mend and I can do my job. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I don't have a target on my back, and people don't look at me because of my influence on them to start looking at me differently
Yes.
based on what you've told them.
So based on your scenario,
Yeah.
then I would say adding this check expands including that type of scenario.
That's exactly right.
Right.
That's what I'm
So-
wanting.
Are you on board to add it, Dr. Moore?
I think there needs to be another dimension added to that, Dr. Bishop. If you listen to my dimension, it might
Yep.
not be as eloquent as it should be, but my dimension is to protect a person who has that issue.
So we can definitely look at a policy that I
Who
wish that I could tell
safeguards
you.
that person?
So we do have policy that I can pull for you
Yeah,
as it relates to potential retaliation,
yeah.
which is
So
separate
maybe-
than this
so maybe
because this is just
we can
related to
leave
the
that,
superintendent.
And then,
I don't care if it's the superintendent of the janitor
Right.
that does it to the person.
right,
Right.
whoever it
I don't
is.
care who it
Yes.
is.
And
All I'm basically saying in that scenario is that person who has that particular workplace issue going on, I want that they ought to have that particular
So
situation.
yes, I would like to see the policy that you're talking
If
about.
we need to create a policy,
I believe we have one, Dr. Moore.
and I think it needs to be brought up immediately
retaliation.
and addressed to where any employee can come.
So if we can address
Any
that
employee, any
concern
cabinet
without
member.
checking it, I'm fine with that.
Well, I don't think you can. And so let me broaden this. This policy is just stating you're expanding the reasons why this would be an issue, not what the steps are if someone does this from a protection standpoint, if that makes sense. That is going to be found in a totally different policy that I'm going to pull for you.
What protections they have.
Yes, what
somewhere
this
else.
does, yes, and now that I look at your face, we updated it. It was a really long one, and
Okay.
so I will pull it. But what this does is expands the reasons why you as a board would look at certain concerns.
Yeah,
Not what happens after the concern. So not only are you going to look at adverse work behavior, but you're also going to look at any relationship that interferes with the corporation's culture of teamwork, the harmonious
that.
work environment.
Because even if they don't report to us, but I've seen that interaction,
Yes.
I can say, to me, that is,
Yes. Because these
issue.
options are not, as much as I said, someone needs to report it, they're not contingent on being reported. If you physically see it,
right.
you now have the ability within your policy to address it.
yeah. I go, if I see it, if I see somebody coming at you, or if I see you or anybody, you understand what I'm saying, Doctor?
But that gives us then the authority.
That's all
to
I'm
address
basically
it.
saying.
Yes.
I mean,
So are we saying we check it or we don't check it?
I'm saying we take it up for review to where, till Miss Dr. Bishop gives us what we need to create the policy that's going to cover the janitor,
Well, this
listen
one
to
right-
me now,
okay.
the janitor, to not board members, to team members, whoever, who feel that they fall under that type of scrutiny.
Well,
So
right
why
now,
don't we
this one
table
covers
this?
the
So
superintendent, but-
here's what we'll do. We'll table it.
Okay.
I'll find the policy that you're making reference to,
Yes.
Dr. Moore, and then we'll come back to it. We can cross-reference it with what is in the policy of what happens after the fact, the
Yeah.
protectional piece. And then that may give you some insight on whether you want to expand this, and then it'll give us a point of reference on any potential new policy creation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I just want staff to feel,
And
Seen
Dr.
and
Bishop,
heard.
great point. What you said about bringing the conversation up on this issue. One is how you brought it, but my thing is I want the secretary to feel protected. I want
Sure.
you to feel protected about your feelings in the workplace.
Yeah.
I hope I'm understood.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is 1520.08.
Let me see if I can find that. Well, I'm on it today. I'm on track now.
So 15.08, it's revised to mandate the IHSAA sponsored coaches, whether paid or volunteer, be properly rostered and accredited before student contact.
This is the right one, Doc?
Yes, it is. And so on the back page of page 1, you'll see Indiana code has been added. So all coaches of any IHSAA sponsored athletic activity must complete one or more certified coaching courses. And we offer all 3 of those. They're mandated. And so now they're actually putting it in
the policy.
In the policy, yes. During there's a coaching in service in the summer. A review of these trainings are covered there.
That's the update.
Yes, and then there is additional ad here that says that any paid or volunteer coach of a program must be rostered with the IHSAA and accredited prior to having any athletic contact with a student.
Which is the AD's
Yes.
criteria to check out.
Yes, yes. There's also a reminder that in addition to courses already required by Indiana law on concussions, heat illness, and prevention and sudden cardiac arrest, coaches will have to complete offerings on protecting students from abuse, as well as student mental health and suicide prevention. And that is part of the training that we offer via virtual sessions
But
to all of our.
Every staff member
Yes,
has to have that
correct.
already.
Correct.
Now, the sudden cardiac arrest, is that I know we have the policy about
CPR?
that CPR, but the
AED?
devices, is that
Yes, that's part of it,
cross-referenced in
yes.
here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the AED, there we go.
The
That's what
AED,
I'm-
yep.
yes.
Yeah.
Because we spent time on that policy last year as well.
Dr. Young, there's some policies, Dr. Young, think about Dr. Moore, there are some policies that I feel they stick with us because we spent so much time in the length of going through the pages. And the
There were a lot of
AED
shells,
one,
there were some maze,
There
there were some
was,
things, and
there
we were like,
was.
okay, we're gonna err on the side
yes,
of
yes,
protecting students to
Yes.
make sure
Yeah, you have
So,
to do that. You have to do
access
that.
yes,
was
yes,
there.
Because if you don't, it's gonna always haunt you.
yeah,
Well, there was also the phone.
Anytime you deal with students, resources are awash.
Yeah.
I
But
could
the
say it
phone-
that way.
the
Would you
phone
agree with that,
piece-
Dr.
The
Bishop?
phone
Yes, it
piece
is.
came up again in that policy because students may have been the one that have to call for 911. I mean,
yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
we-
I don't mean a wash, but you understand.
Right.
Yeah, I
You
do.
gotta spend resources on
Yeah.
students.
So the last portion of this is on the last page, and it adds the Indiana code of when they go through the accreditation by the IHSAA, they're basically going through the background check.
Yeah,
You know, has been
coaches, right?
Yes, has been convicted of an offense described in, and it gives Indiana code, and then has committed misconduct described. So those are all key things that we're looking
that
for.
falls under the mandated
It does.
reporting anyway.
It does.
So
And
you
that
have to check that.
box at the bottom, we check where we shall report to local law enforcement any
Right.
suspected misconduct. That's found in all of our policies.
That's-
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
we have to.
yes.
We don't
Okay.
get the option.
Alrighty, so I'm going to bring your attention to this next one, but it's one, but it's
1623?
three. Yes. So 1623, 3123, and 4123 are all the same policy.
So hold on, 16,
1623,
1662,
3123,
1623.
3123, and 4123.
Okay, let me find.
These, in essence, are the same policy, but in different areas in our policy hand guidelines. So they, one is for teachers, 3123,
I got 3121, did you say that?
3123.
No,
You're
I got
close.
It should be the next one.
3123.
Yep, okay, that one.
Let me get that one out of there.
And then you're looking for, the next one is 4123.
Yeah, I got 1623, 3123, and let me get that out, and then
4123.
So 16 is students.
I believe
4120,
it's, I think it's
23, there it is right there.
staff.
Okay, staff is 16.
Yeah, and we split it, so there's certified, classified, and admin. And the numbers, don't quote me on that, Ms. Kelly, but it's certified, classified, and then the admin piece.
41 is admin.
I think, don't quote me, I don't,
But
I,
they're
yes,
based
but they're
on-
based on
Getting-
certified, classified, admin.
It don't take me but one or two to get pretty sharp at this. I'm with you now.
Okay, so this is a revision in all three areas. When we address policies, oftentimes it's the same policy in multiple areas because the policy covers classified staff, certified staff, and administrators, and that's what this policy does. 31, the first page,
We're going to 31.
I'm sorry, 1623, Miss
Okay.
Miss Kelly, I
First one,
apologize.
1631,
1623, yes. So there's one green here that basically, it
Administrators.
just highlights administrators,
On the first page.
yes.
Second page is students' handbook.
So as a point of reference for you, Ms. Kelly, because I know in our current policy, we list the assistant director of exceptional learners. We don't list a person per se, so that we don't have to go back.
And we, we had that discussion.
Yeah, so Maggie leaves, we don't have to go back and update the policy because now whoever is the new assistant director, it just automatically goes to them. So we listed position only, not name.
Assistant director of
Exceptional learners.
Oh, exceptional learners.
Since this is a section 504 ADA disability discrimination, it falls under the exceptional learners.
Okay.
Okay. So the question I have for you all is currently we make notification of the 504 requirements and possibilities and needs in the staff handbook. We do not have it listed, so they revised in the corporation's annual report to the public. That has now been removed, and they put student handbook on each individual school's website or in the corporation's calendar. My question to you is, we lost one of the options when we no longer do the annual report. Do you want to include one of the other options, or do you want to just stay with the staff handbook?
I would say I would like to include staff handbook, student handbook, and if we can add corporation website.
Okay. Question for you, if I may. This is for adults, so is there a reason why you would want to add the staff information into the student handbook?
Wait a minute, you're saying okay.
I
So you're
was-
saying staff,
Based on what she just said, Miss Kelly, student handbook sounds better because it's going to be going to parents, right?
Yes, but remember, this policy is dealing with the grown-ups.
okay, hold
Oh,
on,
the
let me
grown-up.
look at this.
So
The grown-ups who are student learners.
yes and yes, but it deals with the parent side of this. It covers students, but the question would be,
Could we say parent student handbook?
you can
Let's do that.
you can
Parent
so
student handbook.
So we'll add it to, currently, let me say this, we have a disclaimer in our student handbooks that give the information of who our ADA compliance person is. What additional information would you want to be added to that?
The disclaimer?
So it just says,
It just says
if
who.
you have a
Yes.
question, you contact
Yes.
this position,
Yes.
and here's their contact.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's already listed where?
The wonderful things of technology. Let me pull it up so you can see it.
So with the rights and responsibilities that go home with a student when they want to, like if a parent has a complaint about a violation, is that in there as well?
So we'll just take a look at, for example, the elementary. So, for example, here is the policy notification statement, and down here you'll see here is,
And that's in the handbook?
yes, in all of them.
Okay, and I guess my concern is how
Come on, right here,
Yes, and right
compliance.
How
here is the
often are
504
parents-
compliance.
Do we
referring.
want anything to go into compliance, you saying?
No, this is the notification. It's already in the, all of the student handbooks.
Need to leave it in there then, right?
Right, it's gonna stay there, but I'm saying, how many parents are actually going to their student handbook if they have a question?
That I can't answer.
No, that is something she could not answer.
No, but I'm saying,
I can't answer.
I guess as many ways as we can get that information to them
Okay,
is what
so I'm
I'm
going to,
after.
so we have staff handbook, student handbook, and then we've got two other, I guess for, as it relates to the corporation's calendar, I don't know how that fits for
I'm not
us.
saying the calendar, no. I'm saying, well, and if we do it on the school's website, that could work too.
It's, so let's pull this up so that you all can take a look at how you see it when you go to the website.
That should say parents and student handbook.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes. And I'll go back to it so you can see the front part of it. Dr. Moore. It's listed as student parent handbook.
Great, great.
Okay. All right. So let me go. I'm sorry, Ms. Kelly. I didn't show
No,
that
you're
to
good.
you.
No, I've seen those.
Okay. Alrighty. So on the website, let me pull that up for you all, because here's the other piece. As we were talking out loud, I mean, we didn't have a checked student handbook, but we were already doing it.
Good.
So right. So some of it may be that we need to, our check marks need to catch up with what we're actually doing.
Right, so check staff,
Yes.
student,
Let me pull that up here. So.
but no matter where I go on the website, I've got access to the handbook.
Right.
Yes.
So it's there,
Yes.
already on the website.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we wanted.
Resources. So we've got under resources, we've got Title IX information, human dignity information. But to your point, Miss Kelly, and I may have missed it, so I'll have to look again. I'm not necessarily seeing the ADA piece on here. So we could make sure that it's on the website.
I just want folks to not say, I didn't know, I didn't see it, I didn't,
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
times.
Okay.
And things
Alrighty.
can be right there in your face,
Okay, so I'll make
And you
myself a
don't-
note here.
so we're doing the
So
individual.
two of them we've already taken care of. I need to double check. It may already be there. I just didn't
For
see
the
it.
individual.
Yeah, I think.
The
just-
individual school's
so
website.
if it's not there, we know that Dr. Bishop is gonna make sure it's there.
Individual
For the
school's
community.
website. Yeah.
Now, I think it's important that since we're doing new website stuff,
Yes.
that we create this marketing piece. to create a more user-friendly, would I be
Agreed.
right, Dr. Bishop?
Agreed.
For community. I mean, because whether you realize it or not, a lot of people are just not computer savvy right now, and we gotta do that because education is taking a different turn altogether, and people are going to have to. We're going to have to do something to help them, whether we want to or not.
Yes. Okay, under the personal complaint procedure down at the very bottom,
Where it says end of option.
yes, we currently have checked the CO may consult with the board's legal counsel before finalizing the report to the superintendent. That is currently checked.
Yeah.
So,
We want to continue that behavior.
I
That's the
believe,
compliance officer, is
yes,
that what we're? Okay.
yes, yep. And the practice has been, if there is a concern or a complaint, that they are currently working with legal
Superintendent.
counsel and the superintendent to process this. You currently have, the decision of the superintendent shall be final. You have that checked in our current policy.
Yeah.
And,
Including on at the top there, on the end.
oh, you've gotten so quick at this,
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Moore.
You
You
taught
are,
me well.
you are
Dr.
well on your
Bishop.
way. You are correct. On the last page, you,
Documentation, training provided
Yes.
corporation personnel related to the policy,
yes.
including but not limited to notification.
Yes. Yes, and then, of course, they go in and add all of the
Yes.
federal statutes to the ADA
Yes.
and the FERPA.
You're
So
right.
all of that is new, but it's just adding the
So with
legal aspect of it.
the A through R, we don't
have any of that. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope. So basically what I did is I repeated what we just went through.
Yes.
Because it's the exact same
Same thing.
policy.
Same
In 1623, 3123, and 4123.
It's just at
Same
Yes.
thing.
level.
Yes.
Okay.
And so
That saves us some time.
it does. And so this, let me make this bigger for myself.
We're doing extremely well. We got a lot covered
Two
today.
individual websites.
Still got a decent stack of stuff. So.
Okay. Alrighty, so, 1662.01. What it does is it expands,
Did I get that one?
yes,
I
you,
think I already did that.
1662.01.
You find it. Go ahead. I'll catch you. 16 what?
1662.01. It may be in this. This one, I think, is.
Just to add in.
Yes. And this one is a technical correction, so it's an easy, it is literally adding.
We had already looked at this one as
It's,
well.
it's been a couple of years since we looked at it, but yes, to your point, yes.
16.
It's easy to get in there. Here it is, right here, Dr. Moore, right here.
This, oh my God, I'm looking dead at it. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
And so this one is a technical correction, and the technical correction is adding the update on non-discrimination in employment, the policy numbers.
Yeah, I
So, and the name of the policy number.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's changing here.
And those up on here? Do we have those in our packet? The 30?
I do not believe 3122
so
is-
that got updated.
no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. No.
We're in good shape with this one.
Okay, and Dr. Moore, with your permission, we'll make mandatory curriculum the last one since it's 1101.
1101,
Okay. Okay, 2221 is mandatory curriculum.
got it.
All right. With 2221, this policy, the changes come from the repeal of previous semester-long safety education classes in 8th grade, so that's no longer required. And then there is language in here for mandatory instruction as required for, let's see here. This updated policy now provides a more comprehensive and accurate framework for mandatory instruction as required by Indiana Code, specifically regarding hygiene, sanitary science, and the broader curriculum standards, including language arts, social studies, and citizenship, science, fine arts, as well as safety. So on the first page, you'll see that the expansion is the principles of hygiene and sanitary science. That's what it was prior.
Right.
Now they've added, which must explain the ways that dangerous communicable diseases are spread and the sanitary methods for disease prevention and restriction in grade 5 at a minimum. So the green portion is the expanded definition of what they want taught.
And the date changes on the next page.
Yes. Yes. Yep, so for letter W, instruction language arts included English, grammar, composition, speech, and second languages, math, social studies, citizenship, including the Constitution, governmental systems, and histories of Indiana and the United States, sciences, including computer science, and that's a new, fine arts, including music, art, and health education and physical education, safety and the effects of alcohol, tobacco, drugs, and other substances on the human body.
Yes, ma'am.
So that just is an expansion of the required curriculum.
We also checked the end of the option.
Yes, we did. When down at the bottom, you currently already checked, to Dr. Moore's point, when required by law, the board shall approve the course of instruction prior to the use in the classroom, and that is currently in policy now. And that's it
For that.
For
for
today.
that one, and for today. So we still have some to get to. Yes, and if you would, I apologize, Dr. Moore, I should have got to this sooner, but I need your help with this.
What's that? We can do it now.
Here is policy 6116 for
Yes,
your
ma'am.
review.
Okay. You want to do it now?
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
So 6116 is being brought. It is not a current policy that we've had before. Our procedures from a business standpoint have been established that the policy was never utilized. However, in recent weeks, our federal title grant money was, we were asked to do a desktop monitoring between the business office and the curriculum department. One of the, one of the asks is that we have a time and effort reporting policy. And so right now, it's not enough from the lens of the Indiana Department of Education just to have clean processes. They want a policy that reflects the processes. So this particular policy that we've asked for them to review would suffice to meet the expectation that they say we're not meeting right now.
So even with the two previous cross-referenced policies, we were still not in good stand. Because I remember, did we look at these two?
We did.
Because the language, I'm looking
Yes.
at this, I
Yes.
remember seeing something
Yes.
about.
And so last year or the year prior, we received a big section from the federal updates, which Ms. Kelly is alluding to. And at that time, we felt that we had other areas that encompass this. What we've now heard from the Indiana Department of Education is it does not, and they want a policy that gives guidance on time and effort reporting. Specifically, if, for example, I'm a teacher or a staff member that is getting paid from federal dollars, I'm just going to use Title I federal
Yes,
dollars.
ma'am.
This gives very specific documentation for the business office to follow the time and effort log of the teacher. And so,
Accountability statements.
yes.
So the other one, because it's time and effort as well, the 200.43 and 200.431, those are time and effort as well? but
It's
they're
statute, and so we fell back on statute,
but they
but did
want
not have a
policy
yes,
to match statute.
yes, ma'am,
So this
Yes.
is just to match what we're already
Correct.
doing it.
yes,
This is just to match.
correct.
Okay.
So this is going to create another job position.
No, we're already
so.
doing it.
Is this going to increase the load, maybe?
Not necessarily. Basically, we need something to support why we're doing something already.
Oh, another step of accountability.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, in essence. So I think that aspect of it,
Maybe adding a column to the dashboard to show whatever.
yes. And
Another
so
column.
I know that our business office has been in communication with the Indiana Department of Education to make sure we actually sent this policy,
Okay.
and they laid eyes on it and said, yes, this would work. And then that would remove the ask from them to
And
get
this is
us
what
in
Neola
alignment.
said
Yes.
would get you in alignment.
Yes, and so when this came about and they went through the desktop monitoring, I reached out to Dr. Reed and said, this is what we're hearing. Where do you think we could go with this? And she sent this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we've seen this.
Yeah.
And so we finally got word back from the Department of Education that this
This would work.
work.
Because I'm like, this looks at Miss Barnes and I sat at the table and we looked at
Yeah.
effort and reporting.
Okay,
Yes.
so it seems like we're gonna have to create the accountability piece there.
Yes. So with your permission, I'll add this
Yes.
to the first reading that I'm going to bring to
No,
you
most
on
definitely.
June 11th.
Okay.
And I'll let the business office know that we're starting the process with this specific policy.
And this was
How soon do you need this? Is this an ASP deal?
So what will happen now is I'm going to take the policies that we went through. I am going to put them in a memo. My administrative assistant will scan them with all the checks, and then you'll receive them to do one
in our packet.
in your packet. Then on June 11th, it's your first reading, so the whole entire board will have an additional 2 weeks
To look at it.
to look at it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty.
Let's get it rolling then.
Okay. Thank you
You want
both
this
for
back?
your time. No, it's for your reference. Yes.
This is what we're going to be doing next.
Yeah. So this lovely remaining
left?
stack is what we have